Oh, yes, I'm live. Okay, so I'm live. I'm live from London. And I'm wanting to kick off a new thing, which I'm really, really, really excited about. I'm calling it Relationship Real Talk. And man, oh man, it is what it is going to be. I want to be able to give some real value to people in 20 minutes ish on relationships, on parenting, because it's my jam, it's what I love. And I am wanting to talk today about the need to be perfect. And I've written a few posts lately called Fuck Perfect, and another one that I'm just about to release because I am in the midst of the most imperfect part of my human journey, being in London right now, and the fact that I'm here for a huge awards ceremony, and my mum, my beautiful mum, who came to accompany me to this event to receive an award, had a heart attack and has not been well. And the journey of this incredible celebration combined with this huge tragedy where there were ambulances, there was heart surgery. It has been massive. And I spoke to a wonderful coach at the awards, and she said to me, she said, "What's your message? Like, what's your core message? What is it that you want people to really hear?" And what I got was, fuck being perfect, right? To help people in their relationships, in their parenting, in their life, to stop needing to be the perfect person and the perfect partner and the perfect parent, because it kills the joy in your life, it kills the magic, it kills the beauty. And here's the thing. I've written a book which is all about not needing to be the perfect parent. And I called it Fuck Up Your Kids with Grace and Humor, The Truth About Parenting. Why did I call it that? Because it's one of the things that I'm always saying to the clients that I work with. And it's the perfect title for my book, because I spent years trying to be the perfect parent. And you got to stop that shit. Why? Because it's better when you're not. We're not here to have this perfect journey. We're here to have a human one. And if you are like I used to be, where you're trying to get it right all the time, you're trying to hold it all together, you're trying to be the good girl, trying to be the good boy, trying to be calm and arming your way through life, trying to be strong, right? Not only is it fucking exhausting, you're missing out on the beauty of life that comes in all of these pockets of challenge and adversity, and just when things don't flow the way that they're meant to flow. But I spent so much of that time in reaction that I completely missed it. Right? And I would miss the lightness, I'd miss the humor, I would miss the messy magic that was there right in front of me, because I was so busy trying to get everything right, trying to be this perfect person. And not only that, I was trying to be the perfect person, so I expected everybody else to be perfect too, right? And needing to be perfect is one of the most judgmental ways of being in the world, which I'm going to talk about in a little bit. First, I wanted to talk about when I expected myself to be perfect, I expected my partner to be perfect too. And that is relationship death. Because nothing happy is ever going to come from expecting your partner to be perfect. I tried it, it didn't work. I expected him to change all the time. I expected him to be perfect, because if he wasn't perfect, then it would bring up all of the ways that I wasn't perfect too. And you don't have to be the perfect parent either. And it's better when you're not, because if you are teaching your kids that they have to be perfect too. that they're not allowed to fail, that they're not allowed to fuck things up, that they're not allowed to get things wrong, right? It is so much pressure that we put on our children. And I've been talking to my mum a lot over the last few weeks that we've been here, and we're going to be here a little bit longer as she recovers, as she gains her strength back, which is so amazing in this absolute imperfect journey. And one of the things that we've been talking about is this need to be perfect, right? This need to hold it all together. And it's been coming up for us to see like nothing else over this, what we're experiencing. And she said to me, she said, but I don't think my mother was like that. I don't remember, but all of it's starting to come up now, right? All of the clothes that she wouldn't let the girls wear. She had 3 girls in her family. That whenever anybody came over, the posh china had to come out, and the expensive silverware, right? Everything had to be in its place. Everything had to be perfect, right? Keeping up with the Joneses, all of that shit. We teach our kids that it's not okay to be them. We teach them that it's not okay to fuck it up, that it's not okay to, be messy and be authentic and be real, be human. And growing up with this belief is brutal, man. And I lived this shit. I used to go out with a full face of makeup and my hair done to go for a fucking run. That's what I used to do. I lived this and it was shit. So what do you do, right? What do you do when this is like got you in its grips? Because it is lethal. This belief is lethal. What do? You have to hang out at the other end of the spectrum, right? What does that even look like? What it looks like is doing the opposite, right? Going out without the makeup on, not washing your hair, not wearing a bra. And I laugh because I had this post up around not wearing a bra because my mum said to me, she said, if you win an award, you're going to wear a bra, right? Are you going to wear a bra? And so what I'm talking about is going to the opposite end of the spectrum, trying out the other end, because otherwise we can't find that sweet spot in the middle. And I went from this need to be perfect, this need to get it right, this need to have this polished exterior, the wearing all the masks of how I thought I had to be, how I should be. And I swung all the way over to the other side and I became a complete hippie. Actually, this happened twice in my life. The first time I swung all the way over to the other side because I went into deep depression, right? I became severely depressed. I was hospitalized for it. I was in an institution, when I had my first boy, and I stopped wearing all makeup because I stopped fucking caring, right? I stopped wearing nice clothes. The only reason I was eating well was because I'd had a baby, right? And I had to feed him, and that was the only reason why I was actually looking after myself in terms of the food that I was eating. Everything else, forget it. Right? I was not wearing makeup, not looking after myself, not even showering. I was stinking because I'd swung to the opposite end of the spectrum, not in a conscious way. This is an absolutely unconscious way. And then later on, once I had started doing a lot of work on myself, started understanding that everything's on a spectrum, I swung to the other end of the spectrum because I wanted to chuck a spanner in the works. I wanted to do something different. And if you want things to change, then you have to be willing to fucking get uncomfortable. You have to be willing to do something really different. Really different. Not just a little bit different, like really different. And I became a complete hippie. I got a whole lot of tattoos. I had a nose ring. I started wearing colour, which was unheard of. My previous occupation was in corporate architecture. I used to wear black and black and black, and maybe if I pushed the boat out a little bit, I'd wear a little bit of grey, charcoal grey, or maybe navy blue, right? But yeah, actually that didn't really happen. It was black and charcoal grey. That was what I wore. And when I went into hippie land, right, I started wearing colour, like bright colours, colours that didn't go together, right? Colours that people would perhaps have judgment around because I'd be wearing patterns that didn't fucking match, right? And colors that didn't match, and snake skin tights. Why? Because I was swinging to the other end of the spectrum to see what it felt like at the other end. Yeah. So I didn't wear makeup. So I didn't wash my hair. I went through a long period of not washing my hair, right? Because I was getting all earth mama, I was getting my hippie on, and I wanted to see what happened. See what happens. Because what you're going to discover, and this is what I discovered, is that I didn't die, right? No one died. I didn't die. What I discovered was no one fucking cared. No one cares. And if they do, because people will, people will come back at me with that one and go, yeah, but people do care and people do judge. And yeah, I know they judge because I am one of the most judgy ass people out there. Because if you've got this shit running, if you've got this need to be perfect shit running, you will be a judgy human. Because they go hand in hand, right? They go hand in hand. We are critical, extremely judgmental, and I own this shit. And the reason why we're so judgmental is because we're so busy judging ourselves, and then that judgment filters out to other people. As I said, if we need to be perfect, then so does every other person, don't they? So do our kids, right? And I've already talked about that. But in terms of judgment, if somebody cares, right? If somebody does judge you and it bothers you, it's not them that's the issue, right? It's just a reflection of your own judgment. And people kind of freak out when I say all judgment is self-judgment, because they're like, yeah, but other people are judging me. I know my mother's judging me and this person's judging me and that. Yeah, and look, I get it. But here's the thing. All judgment is self-judgment, because otherwise you wouldn't even feel it. It would go straight over your head. It'd be like, what's the saying? Water off a duck's back, right? It wouldn't touch you because you wouldn't be judging yourself about the thing that you're feeling judgment about. And the way that I remember speaking about this was that if someone comes up to me and calls me Mary and they say, hey, Mary, how's it going? And I'm like, I'm not Mary, man. And they're like, yeah, you're Mary. And I'm like, no, I'm not. I'm really not Mary. I know what it says on my birth certificate and I am not Mary. And they're like, yeah, no, I know you're Mary. How are you, Mary? And you're like, you wouldn't take it as judgment, right? You wouldn't take that as judgment. But if someone said to you something that you had shit around, right? Oh, you've put on weight, haven't you? Or, oh, you're a bad parent. You're a shitty parent. You're a shitty partner. Whatever it is that you judge yourself around, because there'll be a different version for everyone, right? Different flavor. If someone says that to you, you are going to feel it like a knife through the chest, right? Yeah, right? You're going to feel it. Why? Because you are judging yourself around that very thing, and that's why you're feeling it as judgment. It doesn't matter what anybody else thinks. It only matters what you think. And if you make it about the other person judging you, then you're never going to look inward to start working on the thing that you are judging yourself about. All judgment is self-judgment. If you make it about them, about what's happening outside of yourself, about them judging you, they need to stop judging you, right? Which people will never do. We're judgmental beings. Everyone judges, but when we can use it as a tool, I call it the judgment flip, right? Whatever you are judging in another, it's because you want that thing for yourself. Have a look. I still remember the day that I clocked this. It wasn't in the moment because I wasn't that fucking aware, I can tell you that right now. I looked back and I was like, that's when I first clocked it, right? It had been happening my whole life, but I remember this time. I was in a retreat. It was the first retreat I'd ever gone to, and this woman, she had all these hippie clothes on, and she was moving and making sound and dancing, and I judged the fuck out of her. I have never judged someone as harshly as I judged this woman. Why? Because I wanted to be her. She was free and I wasn't. I was all contained and contracted and worried about what other people were thinking, and she was free. And I wanted that. Yeah. But it didn't come out like that. It came out as external judgment because I wanted to be free like her. And if I turned it around and used this tool, which I call the judgment flip, right? Ooh, I'm judging someone out there. If I flip that around and bring it in here, what is that about me? What am I seeing in them that's about me? Because then I can work on that thing that's about me. All judgment is self-judgment. Use your judgment like a tool. Stop making it about the other people out there, because then you get to a place where you don't care. And for me, that is freedom. If you don't care what anybody else thinks, you are free, motherfuckers. You're free. You're absolutely free. So just recently, and this has been a really interesting one for me, yeah, and it's brought up how my need to be perfect runs, because it still runs. I'd be lying my ass off if I said it didn't. It still runs. Now, my team, right? I have a team. I have people that are working on the marketing and choosing images out of the images that are in Google Drive, and they picked a photo of me, and it's not the first time this has happened, and they picked photos of me, and I'm like, oh, I don't really like that one, oh God, and and I have to deal with what's coming up for me, because my need to be perfect will want to make sure that it's the right photo and it looks like this, and it's all print, and it's bullshit, right? So just recently they picked a photo of me without a bra on at the recent awards, right? Because I didn't wear one very often at all, much to my mum's horror. And I felt my fear coming up when I saw it posted, right? Because it wasn't perfect. It's like my boobs were nearly down here, and I started panicking, right? Because it was like, it was really noticeable, and just the picture of the way that it was, and you'll see it because it's on Facebook, and there's a gold ribbon behind me that the team put on it, and it looks amazing, and there's all these amazing comments on the post because of what the post was about and the fact that I was here. And I still felt my fear come up around this image, right? And I was laughing at the same time, because this is what I do. It's like one of the people in my world, like, how much longer are you going to grow your hair? Your hair's like growing really long. And I'd said to my wonderful hairdresser, I'd said, oh look, I'm gonna hang on, I'm gonna stand up. I'm gonna grow it until my hair covers my nipples, right? That's what I said. It's like, I don't know, it's some weird thing that's on my bucket list, right? The problem is that my nipples keep moving, right? It's all right when I'm like this. It's like, yeah, now it's covering my nipple. So, what am I trying to get at here, right? It's like, I felt the fear coming up because it wasn't a perfect photo. It's not the photo I would have picked. And you know what? I didn't die. I didn't die. Right? The photo's out there, it's live, I'm navigating the stuff that's coming up. Needing to be perfect is all about judgment, right? All about fear of judgment coming in. And if all judgment is self-judgment, then it doesn't matter what anybody else thinks. It only matters what you think, and you can use it like a tool, right? Because fuck perfect. Yeah. If you spend your life, your relationships, your parenting trying to be the perfect person, the perfect parent, the perfect partner, right? You are setting yourself up and you're missing out on the joy and the beauty and the lightness and the laughter and the messiness and the magic of being human, because it does not exist in perfection. It exists in the absolute imperfection of life, the humanness of life, the everything that I've been talking about on this live, which has just gone over 20 minutes. So I'm going to close it. What a cool core theme, core message to be kicking off Relationship Real Talk. This is what I'm going to be doing every single Wednesday, to be giving you guys some real talk on relationships, on parenting, on intimacy, on connection, on the juiciest, most important game of life that there is, right? Our relationships, our connection with ourselves, our connection with other people. That's what I want to talk about. I want to bring the truth bombs. Would love to hear what you got from this live. Let me know in the comments below. All right. Ciao for now. See you next Wednesday. RRT is live.